check this out. Ta-da! She is a Bentley lookalike type kit car. Apparently they were made for sort of people using for weddings and stuff like that, but it is a kit car. It's got a mini door on it, apparently Sierra running gear, a few mini switches, who knows. So it is coming to us with a couple of little bits wrong with it. What we got? Oh, it's got a hazard light full. The horn doesn't work on the switch. It's got a push button horn which runs some air horns, but he wants to know if it's got normal horns, which like the push button will work. The clock's not working, and he'd like some sort of immobiliser fitting in it. So we don't really do classics. Classics are a real pain. We've done quite a few over the years. The big issue with them is as soon as you strip them out, we've done it quite often where we tidy up behind a dash. You look behind a dash on one of these old classics and they're awful. Literally, you know, it needs stripping out, completely rewiring, putting it all back together. You make it all nice and neat, but then when you go to put all the screws back in, they've been changed about 40 billion times. Nothing fits. Doesn't matter how good you've taken it out and you've marked all your screws up, they don't go back together right. You'll spend 4 or 5 hours getting it all in there nicely to the standard that you'd want it, and the customer obviously don't want to pay for that. So we are looking at getting back into a few classics, but we will not be doing interior work. We'll strip it out, we'll get it working, we'll secure it up, you get somebody else to put all that back together, because my time is, you know, if I'm on this for 5 hours, that's 5 hours my business hasn't got me in it, all because of a few screws and stuff. So we won't be doing that, but we are thinking about doing some full rewires, maybe some training courses on it and things like that. So let's get into this one. I'll show you about it, and then we'll start working through it. Don't forget the question and answer time. We've got that at the end of the video, so if you want to ask anything, which you might want answering, because we're not getting time to answer the actual questions in the videos, we're quite busy at work, we're struggling to get the videos done, let alone get all the work done, etc. So if you've got anything you want to ask, might get mentioned in one of the next videos, stick in the comments down below anything you'd like to ask. I'll try and get through them all if I can. So watch to the end of the video for our questions and answers, and if you've asked anything in the previous videos, you might get mentioned. So she's a bit of a beauty. That is a mini door with no top pillar. Apparently it's got a mini windscreen in it. Looks quite wide for a mini, but I suppose it is. So yeah, so there and there, it looks mini-ish. Sierra crossflow, overhead valve thing, overhead cam, I don't know. Not really sure what engine that is, but it's Sierra, I know that. The problem we have with classics, that for me to do that, to get involved in it, I'd want that put to my standard. Problem with that is, you know, it's working. It sort of works, customer's happy with it, he likes tinkering with it, but, you know, every time I go to classic car shows, I look at them and go, oh, they've got everything done perfect, apart from the wiring. And yeah, them blue terminals which are crimped up, they'll last however long, they probably only do a few hundred miles a year, but yeah, I don't like trying to touch something like this, especially when they get you to do a tidy up behind the dash and that, then they come in, oh well, that's not working, because it's not all been done, you know, because all the relays under the bonnet are all corroded and things like that. So right, I'll show you what we've got inside. Oh no, hazard switch. So we've got, oh right, so this is another reason why it's a real pain working on things like this. Look at this switch. It's not in there right. This cowling isn't fitted right. It's got a screw there. I bet the other side's different. Screw missing there. Got a screw missing. Another one in there. You know, when I put that back together properly, it will need nice matching screws in there. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to take that off. I'm not going to put it back together. You know, so yeah, just got to be careful with it. But these are the reasons, you know, you put it back together like that, you think, oh, I can't send it out like that, but that's how it was when it come in. So maybe doing these videos would be better, because I'll be able to show the customer, you know, that's what it was like when it come in. So yeah, so we've got a hazard light fault, that's on top of the column. This push button doesn't work, but whether that was ever wired up, we don't know. It's got a push button horn. He's a bit concerned that when he pushes that horn, the volt gauge drops right down. All the lights drop down. but that could be because they've picked up live from behind here. Instead of going direct to the battery, it might be drawing all the current through the gauges. So what I think we'll start on is the horn on this and the hazards. See what's going on there. These are old Sierra switchgear. So we'll work out whether it's ever been wired up with this type of horn, see if there's even one under the bonnet, and see what's going on with the hazards. And then we'll get the panels off from underneath, have a look behind the dash, see how bad it is, and then we'll have a look. So let's do that. We've got these panels off. They are just standard old Sierra ones with some leather gaffer taped on the inside. Problem with classics, kit cars, etc. They look alright from the outside. As soon as you start looking inside, and that's the bits where all the electrics are, that's what I'm saying about this. But, you know, it looks okay. So the main reason I want to take that off is to make sure this switch lifts out completely. If it doesn't, if it gets halfway and sticks, it stops the indicators working, but doesn't actually turn the indicator, doesn't actually turn the hazards off. So what we're going to do is remove the switch anyway, and then we'll see if we can get a diagram for it, which I'm pretty sure is going to be Sierra. I mean, it's definitely Sierra switchgear, so that's what we need to see. I think they only use one relay. Some cars had 2 relays, one for hazards, obviously for four-way, so 421 watts. Some just had the one, but 2 inputs. If you blew a fuse for your hazards, it would go. So they all look occupied. So let's see if we can get a diagram, find out what goes where. The old British cars, they used to all have the same wiring. Speak to a proper old Sparky, they'd be going, yeah, this does this and this does that. Green with a red trace does this. Red always does this. You know, them days must have been easy. You know, so, but right, let's find out what this has got. So, got a full wiring diagram. It is all online. That is guaranteed a copy of the old Haynes manual. Has it even got it written on it? No, can't see anything written on it, but it looks like a copy of it. So, when I started 18 years ago, ended up joining some forums and stuff of how to fix stuff, and loads of technicians on there. And the big thing was keeping things sort of behind closed doors, I suppose. That was, 18 years ago, when people were still doing their service stuff, people were still doing all their sort of maintenance and stuff, and still repairing their cars. But now, you know, the more and more, especially getting into the social media side, you know, I was concerned about giving out too much information. But I honestly think the more and more information that is online, it's all available, a lot of it's available, the less and less people want to fix their own cars, or will challenge it. The amount of people that have done this, fitted the wrong parts and it didn't work, and they're going, I just need to go to somebody who knows what they're doing. I think there's a major change in it. Well, as the data's all grown, the amount of people doing it, if somebody is interested in fixing their own car, this information's out there. Whether I put it out on YouTube or, you know, just show what I'm doing, I don't think I'm giving too much away. But anyhow, enough of that. Right, let's have a look at this. So here's a diagram, what you might understand. People have been asking me to work through wiring diagrams, etc. So I will show you this. It's lovely and colour coded, and it is split down into just the indicator and hazard circuit. So show you this. So basics of electrics. Always start with a battery, obviously. Battery goes to earth, ground, whatever you want to call it. People will say it's common, etc. It's an earth. What we call it, we're English, that's that. Comes out the battery. Then you've got to work out where you're going to be going to. So this one goes up through the ignition switch, pin 2. So pin 30 is permanent live. And then goes out to pin 15. As this switch goes on to click 1, it will come out, ignition on, fuse 20, but the fuse box is going to be different in this one. I think it's not going to be the original one. So we're meant to have a switch live into pin 54. And then again, out of the battery, you're meant to have a permanent live going to the same switch. This is a hazard switch indicator stalk type thing. Going to have a main live going into it well on pin 30, which is the red wire. So the way this is going to work, with ignition on, it's going to put power to this relay, which sends a flashing, pulsing power through to the switch. So with the ignition on and the hazard switch off, this links through this back into the indicator stalk, and then this one will put it, as you lift it up, it will go out to one circuit, which will go down to all the bulbs, which goes down to 1, 2, so rear light, front light. These ones are probably the telltales, or these are probably your telltale lights on your dash. When you push the hazard switch down, it removes the switch live to this and actually puts the permanent live into it. So that's why when you turn it on, the indicators don't work. It goes through this one, out, down into the relay. So now this relay is only powered from the hazards. So once it goes down, it puts the power to the relay. Then the relay is going to put its pulsed live, flashing live out of this wire. But when it comes across, it drops down now, back up to this switch. And these switches drop down, make contact from the power, switch power in to both sides of the indicator circuit. So that's what gives it a 4-way flash. So we know this side's working because when the ignition's on, it's giving power out to the relay. So we know the relay's working. We know the input back into it is working because these are okay. So we know that the input, the flashing input into the switch is okay because it can go left, it can go right, no problem. So we know that bit's okay. So it's got to be either this power here or maybe one of the contacts inside here. So let's check if we've got power here. We know this is okay. We know this is okay. We know the outputs are okay. We just need to check here or the switch. So we've eliminated all that lot before even touching the car. So let's go and check it. Pin 30, red. Pin 54 will be black. Right. Oh, here we go. Da, da. Hopefully it's got it written. We've got a couple of blacks and a couple of reds. Hopefully it's written which one's which. Oh. Aha, right. 54, 30. So 54 is a black one. Switch live. And it's 30, isn't it? 30. Ah, can you see that? 2.94 volts. So that's going to be our permanent live, and we've got a volt drop on it. Let's plug it in. I bet when you connect that up, that voltage drops completely. So let's have a look. So yeah, 2.94. When it's on, it goes to earth, which means the earth path's good. It's losing voltage. Okay. Right. Now what? I will just check the fuses under the bonnet. It's got a couple of fuse blocks under there. We'll just check, see if we've got anything bad going on there. In fact, I'll leave that switched on. And if we touch it and they start flashing, we know where we're at. If not, the clock would have a permanent live to it. I wonder if we've got an issue under the dash. We've got to get under there in a minute anyway. But let's just check under the bonnet. I'll show you what I'm going to do. And we'll have a look. This is some proper old school Electrician. It's nice. It's nice to do, just basic stuff. More than just the old, could it be a software? Could it be a software update? What's causing this? Blah, 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 blah. Alright, let's just... Yeah, these are just aftermarket fuse holders. All showing up as 12 volt. Problem is, this will be an adapted Sierra loom. Depends what year it was. I'm sure. Well, yeah, they wouldn't have had that unless they use some sort of, unless they use their own type of loom. But I don't think they do. And that's definitely a cut down loom. So I think we're going to get under the dash. Have a look under there, because that should be a permanent live. Yeah, strip the bottom of the dash off. This is all looking okay. Obviously, we haven't done any back probing to it, but if we get inside, find that wire. If there's no main connector between there and up there, no big sort of connector block, what we'll have to do is pull them fuses down, see which one is the permanent live, etc. But yeah. Whoa. Made a mistake there, didn't I? So we've got an earth on one of these. It's 5 amp. It's showing an earth path. I was looking for your 2.9, but I've turned it on, so it's gone back down to earth. So if I turn that back off, and this one comes up to that, aha! See, I'm not as good as I think I am, am I? Right, let's turn it back off. Let's see if that fuse has gone to that voltage now. If we have, we'll know what circuit it is. Cuts out a load. Ah, no. Sacre bleu. And the rest of them are all full voltage, so. Yeah, so again, that's how quickly I could have missed something, because that was on. Leaving a test that I could have wiggled it and seen the indicators come on. Could have pointed me down the wrong path. But you see what I mean? Where I'd had the ignition, where I had the switch turned on for the hazards, had an earth path, that could have been that one, and it would have been from the fuse, possibly down to the battery. But no, so let's go the other way. Like I said I was going to do, strip under the dash, see if we can see a multi-plug or something, see how it's wired under there. Then we can at least make a decision, so we've still got the clock to look at anyway. So let's get that stripped out. So we have got this panel screwed up everywhere. I bet this is hiding all sorts of manner of things. 1, 2, what have we got there? 1, 2, got a rusty screw, a brass screw, both countersunk. This one's a non-countersunk silver. This one's a silver countersunk. Oh, we've got two the same. That's what I'm going on about, you know, just not nice. Oh, this is a scary part. Ooh. Up there. Oh, let's have a look around. Oh man. Alright, let's show you. And then this is what we're up against. Wires pushed in places. These plugs pushed in. Right. Oh. Let's have a look at the gauges. I bet they're nice. Oh. Look at all that. So it's not pretty, but I've seen worse, and it probably would work, you know. Again, if I was building this, I would have one loom coming out. I'd have the whole lot of the dashes all wired up into one big multi-plug, going to another multi-plug, splitting out, it would look lovely. Is it any better? I don't know. But I can't put my name to something like this when, you know, people are going to see it. I mean, it's not a show car. You don't see under there, but I can't be one for just doing a quick bodge up. It's not just get it working, you know. Oh, Jesus. Oh, man, look at that. Let me just show you this. Just noticed something else. This main live looks like a main live. One's pushed this side of the panel. One goes through the hole. No grommet, no nothing. Could rub across there. It's been scotch locked into here. Another one's been scotch locked into there. So I think ignition live, switch live. Oh, is that wire just? Oh no, I thought that wire was just pushed in there. That's not. Okay. But I can only do what I can do. So I'll trace back where that wire from the indicator stalk comes from. See where we're losing our main live. Hopefully it'll be something reasonably simple. Right, I'll show you when I find it. So I've just had a quick flick around. What I thought I'd do is have a look at the clock wiring, just to make sure if the clock wiring has got that 3 odd volts going to it. We'll know, we'll test it before we disturb too much. We'll test if we've got voltage to it. If we've got if we've got that 3.6 volt, we know it's probably on the same line because it's going to be a permanent live. Had a quick look, found out it goes into this plug, checked it, 12 volt. So, okay, can't be that. Then heard it click. I was like, oh, that's weird. I thought, oh, maybe the clock's faulty or something, I don't know. Checked it, yeah, the voltage is there, and the clock has ticked over a minute. But let me just make sure the hazards are still not working. And sure enough, they're working. So, moving that panel down, having a quick look around and touching a few things, seeing what's here, the fault has gone. So, I'm giving it a bit more of a wiggle, but it could have even been them Scotch locks up on there. You know, so I don't know. Let's turn that off. It's winding me up. Hazards are working. The horns, so the horn, I don't know if I did show you, the horn has got nothing in there. Let's I'll show you what I mean. So we stripped out the horn, no wires going to it, and behind here would normally be the spiral for allow this to turn. That's not even in there. So when this has been built, this hasn't ever had a push button horn. It's just had this pushed here. He was worried that the gauges go down, but I'm sure it's just going to be down to it's picking up the main live or earth from behind here. So we've lost the fault. That's a pain. This is the time where I'd normally say this needs a tidy up behind the dash. Let's strip all that out, do that. But you know, is he going to want to pay 8 hours work to strip that out, put it on a bench, rewire the whole dash behind there? Probably not. So all I can do, I'll leave it, see if it's all okay. I'll do a bit of wiggling, test it about, see what we can do. But yeah, don't know. We've lost the fault, and again with all them wires just pushed in places, it can just have bad contact. We move it, and it's done. So I'll advise a rewire really. I don't think there's anything else. No, just wants us to look into maybe fitting an immobiliser so it's not quite as easy to steal. Hazard light, horns, clock, your switch. Well, I'd love to tell you what the fault was, but I can't. So that's all we can do. Right, I'll speak to the customer, see what he wants to do. I'll let you know. Right, question time. We had a couple of people asking about the T-pins which we use for back probing. Low CREP, LOCREP1, and who else asked? Somebody else. and Ben Richards 5160. What T-pins we use? They are the sewing T-pins. Just Google T-pins, it comes up with sewing things, bag of them for about £3. But somebody else has asked, I think it was Ben Richards, struggling to find any thin enough. So they are nice for the slightly bigger ones. You can get a crocodile clip on. I would get a set of standard pins as well. The ones with just a little head on it, pinhead type thing. Slide them down in and get your crocodile clip on there as well. So they're nice. The T-pins are nicer for slightly thicker wires. They grab better, but nice intricate wiring. Yeah, just normal sewing needles, pins. You can slide down there. They're very good. So yeah, that's what we use. Marcus 6A6 has asked, when we nick into the wire. So when we do put a nick into the wire, we try and use blades because they just go in so nicely. You're not probing it and damaging the wire. Just literally a nice little slice in, the blade goes into it, and then we use clear nail varnish. Stick that on there, it glues it together. They do a liquid insulation tape. We find it cracks after a while. It's not very good. So yeah, we've used that for quite a few years now. Don't really have any issues with it. So clear nail varnish, that seems to nick them up quite well. So yeah, thanks very much for your questions. Let's get back to the car. So the customer has decided he doesn't want to go ahead just yet. He's going to see how he goes with it, see if any more issues come up. So yeah, unfortunately, it's not a big testing one. We were showing sort of how we do it, what we do for wiring diagrams, classics, the things we come across. But unfortunately, this wasn't one where it was going to be a major, let's check this, let's check that. I'm going to show you how we do it. But these are the things we come across. You know, we was expecting this to be in for a week or so. He'd actually booked in for a fan fault, but he seems to think that that's working okay now. An engine cooling fan, that seems to be okay. Couple of little jobs behind there. We know what's going on there now. If he brings it back, we can strip it down. We can do it bit by bit, you know, do 3 or 4 hours, pull the cluster forward, repair some of it, but you know, for the amount of time what he's going to use it, I'll be very surprised if he goes ahead. So let's get back together, and yeah, we'll see you on the next one.